בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח. In one of those seminars, Rabbi Levinstein was invited to talk to the seminary of the girls there. And at the end of the lecture, questions, answers, one of the girls stood up and she said, we are devoting our lives for our husband to study and Be'ezrat Hashem to build a house on the foundation of Torah and mitzvot. But we sacrifice so much. We sacrifice our time, our efforts, hoping that by that our husband will learn Torah, we will have a better life. The parnasah will be easier. But it looks that we just bringing a korban and we don't see the benefit of that. The rabbi looks, he had a few hundreds of girls there. And he said, I'd like to know how many of your parents are rich? No one raised their hands. And I want to know how many of you, your father is learning. A few hands rose, 20, 30 of them out of 400 or 500 girls. So he asked, I don't understand. Most of the people here, their parents don't devote time to learn. As a matter of fact, they are working in the free world. So why you complaining about that only the parents who are learning are suffering from parnasah? Look, no one agreed that their parents are rich. In other words, regardless of that your parents are learning Torah or not, parnasah is hard. So why to blame the Torah? We have to understand that parnasah is, of course, coming from God. And sometimes we see that someone who is learning in yeshiva and decided to leave the yeshiva and to go to work, and all of a sudden we see that he's so successful. How come? And the answer is, this is the act of the Yetzer Hara, the Satan. Because if everyone who will leave the yeshiva and will fail outside, no one will leave the yeshiva. But when you see cases that a person leave the yeshiva and become such a successful businessman, then they realize that it's better to go outside, leave the yeshiva. Well, we have to understand, the Stipler said something amazing, amazing. I cannot promise wealth to no one, but I can promise you the fact that someone is avrech, someone is learning Torah, this is not the reason for him not to have good parnasah. Because if in heaven they decree that his parnasah will be a certain amount, no matter what he will do, either as Talmid Chacham or as a great lawyer, he will have difficulties in Parnassah. But if in heaven they said that this person is going to be very, very rich, very, very successful, he will be successful and rich and wealthy, being also Talmid Chacham. There is a story about the Shach, Rabbi Shabtai Kohen, Baal Siftei Kohen, who give wonderful interpretation to the Shulchan Aruch, to some part of that. When he married his wife, she was the great-granddaughter of the Ramah, Rabbi Moshe Isserlich. His father-in-law promised him that for the next 10 years, he's going to support him. Just learn Torah. And it just happened. As the very first year, at the time that they had to go to the market fair, the father-in-law became so ill, so sick, he couldn't go. So he asked his fresh son-in-law, do me a favor. Please, you go this year, otherwise we have nothing to eat. The fair is only for 2 weeks. Here is the money. Buy anything that you think that we can sell in a higher price and we can survive from the profit. Reluctantly, he agreed and he went. And in these 2 weeks, he was so successful. He bought merchandise and items that when he came back, the father-in-law could not believe what he saw. The prices and the quantities that his son-in-law bought could last for 10 years. Right away he came to his son-in-law, Reb Shabtai said to him, I am going to offer you something that I hope you will not refuse it. I will support you all your life. All your life. All what I'm asking from you, give me 2 weeks a year of your study and go to the market fair and buy merchandise so we all can survive. But the Shach refused. And he said to him, we found a specific pasuk in Shirat Hayam. Amar Oyev, the enemy said, who is the enemy of the person? This is the Yetzer Hara. And what did he say? Erdof asig achalek shalal. I will pursue, I will overtake, and I will divide the spoils. He said to his father-in-law, the Satan said, let's catch the Shach. Let's take him out of his study. The Satan said, I don't want him to write his interpretation to the Shulchan Aruch. Great interpretation. I want him to be out of business of Torah. And then what? I will make him so successful in business. And then, Arik Harbi Torishemo Yadi. I will draw my sword and Timlaemo Nafshi Torishemo Yadi. My hands will impoverish all the things that I gave him. He will be poor, but he will not be successful in the tikkun that he had to do in this olam. And he said to his father-in-law, Please, don't ask me to do that, because this is the advice of the Yetzer Hara. How many times, my brothers and sisters, we are facing the same dilemma. We're making the effort to stay 1 hour at the end of the tefillah to study Daf Yomi. Some of us doing it at night, 1 hour or 2. And it just happened that one day we miss it, 2 days we're going for a fair or something, and we're making killings, so much money. We become so successful overnight. And we're saying to ourselves, if I would do that every day, I have nothing to worry about, my mortgage, my bills, my tuition for the yeshivot. I will be free man, and I can devote myself to study instead of 1 hour or 2, to study the whole day. Devote my life to God. So I will just skip a few shurim for a year or 2, or maybe more. I want you to know, once you stop, it is very, very hard to go back. In sport, they do training every day, to stay on the peak, to stay in shape. It takes long time to reach the level that they can be successful in this world of sport. But if they miss 1 or 2 training, it will not take them a day or 2 to reach back to that level. It will take them much longer time, because dripping from the heights, it's very easy. To climb back, it takes so long. Remember, God doesn't need your help to provide parnasah. God will give it to you as easy as it's possible for you. All what you have to do is trust Hashem. Trust Hashem that He will give you everything that you need. Everything that you need. Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach. We will continue learning Torah, and every one of us should do a little bit more, extra 1 hour, extra chapter, extra daf, listening to CDs, listening to Divrei Torah while we're driving, and with that, we'll see how we can speedily bring Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mera b'yameinu. Amen v'amen.